Welcome back to another episode of Untrap The Brain. I am Uzurman. So if you join us for the first time, welcome. You very much welcome. That means you're in your first day or maybe your high level or maybe mid level or stage of self development. So today we'll be diving into two things that actually captivated my mind. That's first a video called "Kill the Monkey." Yes. So I wanted to clip some parts that actually got caught my attention, but I couldn't do that. I don't know. Netflix couldn't allow me to download that little clip. So the clip is all about when one of the inspectors says Inspector Ogunlesi had in contact with one of the main suspect of a crime. So the crime suspect, was now saying that okay, for each deal he prays to God, begging him, like begging God, oh God, if this deal works out, I will never go back to this crime. But once the alert enters, all those deals just wipes off from the brain. It just wipes out from the brain. And I was like, but true, that's what happens. That is what happens. And keep on happening for so many of us for long, till when we have nothing to happen again except regret. Regret will just caught up with us. And that was exactly what happened to the suspect. At the end of the day, he was actually caught up with, and then he had to be jailed and even was almost killed along the line in the video. So this episode that I'm explaining is episode 8. Yes, episode 8 of that movie, Kill a Monkey. So now what I was able to take in from that was that what aspect of your life are you making plans? And when you get to a particular stage, I say, no, maybe let me just leave it. I'll start tomorrow. Or maybe let me just do it. I'll do tomorrow. Maybe let me just take a break, take a break. And before you know, you get caught up. You end up not doing it. It could be a business that you wanted to start off, you end up not doing it. It could be a proposal that you wanted to share for reasons best known to you. You started postponing it, started making excuses, saying a lot of things that has nothing. It just the thing is, you have made plans that you're going to start now, but when it comes that now it's not now that you needed to start. For some reason, you didn't start. It is not the first time, it's not the second time. Your brain is already used to it. Ah, you're praying. But don't worry, she's not going to do it. We know her. That alarm is going to ring. I'm not going to stand up. So we know her. So to the extent that your brain is familiar with the fact that you're not going to follow through, this is your New Year resolution. You're not going to do them. It's a normal thing. Every New Year you make a resolution which you will never do. Or probably every year you make a 5 year plan which you will never do. What about the 2021 5 year plan? What about the 2022 5 years plan? How far has it gone? What about the last year 5 years plan? What about this year's 5 years plan? We are in July. So what about them? So you see, that is how that happens. That's how it keep on happening until you get to a particular peak that regret now set in. You've already become somebody that doesn't keep to your own words to yourself. You don't keep your words to yourself, the word that you told yourself. And it's very bad. Right? It's even much better you don't set any plans, you don't set any goals, you don't set any prayer. Just be doing your thing. Whenever you're ready, you just do it. Because one thing I've come to realize that once you start making excuses for anything, you have to be very careful. There'll be a lot of excuses following it. Like there'll be a lot of follow-up excuses. Now when you lie, that's how I talk about lie. When you lie now, that's a lot of follow-up lies that you have to lie in order to keep up the first lie that you've done. So that is the way it is. If you give excuses, okay, maybe you're supposed to study for one brew, study for maybe an examination. You are expected, you wanted to start to do because nobody's going to force you to do anything. But let's assume that you wanted to start now, but you didn't start. You make excuse, oh, I'm having a headache. Okay, you didn't start. So that is how you keep on making it. Oh, yesterday I had an headache. What about today? So if you pay keen attention, if you're very observant, discover that there'll be so many and millions of excuses that will follow through. So that is very why that is why that you read doesn't that is why it's very key to pay keen attention to your behavior. Not your behavior to the other person, not your behavior to your environment, but your behavior to yourself. How true are you to yourself? The man, the suspect in the Killer Monkey, the suspect or the man in question was a man that had integrity. So yeah, because of poverty, he told himself because of poverty he had to go dig himself into an illegal way to make money. So he first said that okay, once I get money to structure my business, get the business for my wife, for my family, I will stop. He never stopped. As the money kept on coming, he never stopped. In fact, he started dipping his hand in things he never thought he would ever do. But the funny part is, he still sees himself as what? An innocent man. When you call him criminal, it hurts him so bad because he wanted to justify the fact that he had the thought to stop. The fact is, he became somebody that was not so true to himself. He had opportunity to stop, but he didn't stop. So that part of innocence he had died far, far back that he never thought about it. But in his mind, since he kept on making deals with God for every business, for every crimes he wanted to commit, if he still thinks that okay, oh, I'm not a criminal. So that is how it is. Before you know it, until he gets caught up. Now it's not just him telling himself that he's a criminal. It's the Nigerian judge telling him, declaring to him, you are a criminal. That is what it is. So that is how it is. But the excuses you make to yourself for not doing what is beneficial to you will end up in regret in the long run. However, your brain will be supporting you with the so comfort, the vibe, the energy that you need for that. That is just the truth. If you decide, okay, I want to start gymming now, and now come and decide to make excuse, your brain will give you reasons why you shouldn't. If you're expected to do something, maybe send a proposal to a client, decide not to do that now, and you get excuses, your brain will support you with it, whatever it is. So the important thing is, are you sure you are not in these same shoes where you keep on making excuses for yourself not to do things that are beneficial? That you have decided, okay, I will do this, but for some reasons you decide to make excuses for yourself. You're justifying your excuses. I had a sermon this morning, the way a young guy was saying, says that if you're poor, you have to be. That means you have to be ashamed, or it's very disgraceful. That's a disgrace to you. That if you're born in it, it is okay. But if you decide to stay in it, that is very disgraceful. No matter how harsh it sounded, how rude it sounded, how ruthless it sounded, but that's the truth. I've had so many motivations like that. It's either you're a winner or you're a loser. It's not about going too tough. I'm not a tough person. I always say that, but I just make my plans and follow through my plans. But the thing is, that same Sunday, that this early morning too, I also saw a tank filled with water. A particular compound was filling the tank, so they were pumping water. So that's two tanks. So up for a while, the water had pumped for some few minutes or hours, but after some time, the water now started overflowing. So the tank is now filled and now is overflowing. So one thing I realized that before that tank get filled, it was looking very dirty. But when the water started overflowing, it became clean. Now the water that was overflowing was touching other fences, or touching some grasses, or touching some flowers, or was touching other things, was also touching the structure. Do you understand? What I was able to take home with that was this: what you're filling yourself in will one day overflow and it will spread. That is just it. The man was filling himself with money made with crimes to the extent that it overflowed that he became a suspect to money laundering, to murder cases, a lot of things, and it touched everybody around him. His innocent children were a victim to that. His wife was a victim. In fact, they were not even safe. They were not even. If you watch the movie, discover that that singular act to go into crime and make money affected the entire family. So the same thing with overflow, the same thing when you choose the right thing. So whatever you're filling yourself in, whatever truth, whatever thing you're filling yourself, if you are feeding yourself with excuses, it is going to overflow. You may think it's just you. After all, it's me. I'm the one that set the goal. I can at the same time not set the goal. Okay. Keep setting goals that you're never, ever, ever going to fulfill. One day you're going to get fed up and get overflowed with so many goals that you never, ever, ever achieved or had any intention to achieve. Kept on making excuses. So those excuses is going to fill your tank. It's going to fill you and going to spread. And then you're going to wonder, what type of abundance will you be sharing? Will you be the type that will be telling people it's difficult? You can't achieve it. Because inside you, you're filled with so many excuses and so many regrets, which you intentionally filled yourself in. And that is why I usually say, always fill your thought with things that are beneficial to you. Always do things that are beneficial to you. The importance of being healthy, eating healthy, is for your own good. When you are so much healthy, it means that your children, people around you, don't have to worry about you. You'll be much, much more reliable, as in be much healthy, so they won't be watching out for you. That is just the importance. And the importance of you feeding your mind with so many things so many things that benefit you, maybe financially. It means that people around you won't be worried about you financially. They will be thinking about their own financial problems and then be carrying you along. So that's it. And then when you're overflowing with health or with anything, it's going to spread. So people can come to you and ask you, how were you able to get a flawless skin? How were you able to get this type of thing? How were you able to this and that, this and that? That is you overflowing. Imagine that you're overflowing with excuses. How will you be a role model to your kids? And that is just the same thing. The man can never be a role model to his children. Never. Not even to his family. In fact, his family has to stay away from him to be safe. So that is just it. The question is, what are you filling yourself with? What are you feeding yourself with? What are you filling yourself with? You're one day going to overflow. And if you decide to overflow, what type of overflow? What are you going to be sharing? That is what it means. Right? So what are you going to share? So the water was touching the structure of that as an iron that was holding that tank. So it was also as well touching the iron too. So if the iron was not too strong, it will fall. So which means when you start overflowing with whatever it is that you are filling yourself with, it can affect you as well, not just people around you. But the benefit of it is that you don't have to give out of emptiness. You are giving from what? Abundance of something. And that is what you're feeding in. That is just the truth. So if you decide that every day is a Friday to you, you're feeding your head, you're feeding your mind, you're feeding your tank with abundance of what? Good Friday. So and it's going to overflow and spread. Oh, the people be like, oh, this person is fun to be with. Oh, this person is a good vibe. Oh, this person like is always happy. That is what you're feeding yourself with. And so that is just it. I wanted so bad to share that clip, but I couldn't. I couldn't share the clip. So, but then you can actually go and watch it. That's How to Kill a Monkey, episode 8. I don't know mistaken, episode 18 or 8. Episode 8. So if it's not up to 18, the other is episode 8. So thank you. We have come to the end of today's episode. If any of the things that I said resonate with you, feel free to share it, feel free to comment on it. And if there's something that, if there's a keyboard that this hits on you, that's something that, okay, me saying this reminds you of something, just let me know. The one thing I realized that anything that is being said has different meaning, different dimension, different context. And you don't know who you'll be helping if you share with it or if you comment.